I don't know if, I think music is close to being as divisive as sexuality is in our churches. Maybe not for most of our churches in BC, but certainly across our churches. And so there's been I think one of our congregation is one of the few that actually has a hymnal in the pew and then actually 2 other songbooks. So, but I think we're one of the few in our denomination in BC that would use books to read from. And so there's this clash of cultures when we get together in BC for a conference or a gathering, which music to use. And so we're saying, well, do we use from that end of the spectrum, or the contemporary praise music that many of our churches know, or something else? And I think that will continue to be an issue that divides us. I think our denomination now is looking at putting together some new music or a new hymnal, and they're saying, like, for a lot of our churches in BC, they're saying, like, why in the world would you do that? For folks in my congregation saying, yes, it's time to have a new book that we read. So I am concerned around, I don't know if it's a shift in music. It probably is from the 50s and 60s, where there's a shift from where we used to all sing the same songs to where we now have a plethora of musical styles that we use. So my hope is that we can find some common ground again in the next 20 years that will bring us together. But my sense is that's going to be really difficult to do. Our musical styles are now so broad in our congregations that it concerns me. The theology that we teach our folks sometimes, the words that we're getting them to memorize that aren't always as helpful to them as they could be. So how do we go about helping each other think theologically about our music, think theologically about the words that we give folks, write music that encompasses sort of a Christian Anabaptist understanding of what it means to follow Jesus? I think that's the next challenge we have as churches in BC as well as across the board. Because what we do is we also breed intolerance. So maybe that's what the piece is that concerns me. Because when we're saying there's different styles, we're also saying, and my style is the best one. So finding maybe the better way to get at it is, how do we go about being forbearing with each other in the ways that we do music and allowing that to happen? Because we have these clearly defined rules about this is good music and this isn't. And can we find a way to care for each other in that? Or can there be a way that we can find some common ground? I don't know, but it just becomes it's a real challenging place to be. So maybe we can write some music. We can get some of our folks to do some more intentional writing of songs that can help us find that common ground for each other. But my concern is that this will continue to separate us as congregations or areas. There's a certain area that does worship a certain way, another one does it a certain way. And can we find ways to care for each other despite that?